I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house is on fire, I would take this one.
Your mom is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a. This shit was $23.
Claire is wearing a fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag.
Speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etane, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etane is the color and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's SUES stamp, which means it's a 2020.
They say, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermes customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy one.
Latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get 1 bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Meanwhile, the brands are laughing all the way to the...
Hermes is officially in full-blown panic mode. The luxury giant just filed a lawsuit against the same Chinese factories that spilled their billion-dollar secret, and the whole fashion world is shook.
Crumbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my...
These factories weren't just making fakes. They were actually crafting the real deal. The same Birkins and Kellys Hermes sells for $20,000 and up.
Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to that cut open, just expensive, nothing special, but a few truly exceptional.
Now they're pulling back the curtain and showing everyone what's really hiding behind those fancy Made in France labels. From shady production stunts to leaked insider receipts and viral TikToks, this mess is turning the luxury game upside down.
Boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
Hermes is scrambling to cover their tracks, but the secret's already out. And the damage? Done. Let's break it down. It all starts with the big lie they've been selling for years. Hermes pushed the dream of handmade French craftsmanship, Parisian ateliers filled with master artisans, delicate stitches under soft candlelight, maybe even smooth jazz in the air. Sounds dreamy, right? Wrong, according to insiders and receipts exposed by Tanner Leatherstein. Up to 80% of these so-called French luxury bags are actually made in China. And it's not just parts being shipped over. The cutting, stitching, threading, and leatherwork are all done overseas before they ever touch French soil. Here's the shady game Hermes has been playing. They get the bags made in China, slap on a button or stamp in France, and bam! Suddenly it's made in France. That's the whole trick. So, when the Chinese factories started spilling the truth and dropping receipts, Hermes totally lost it.
Hermes products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong.
Enter Tanner Leatherstein, the real whistleblower of the luxury world. He's not just some random guy popping off on TikTok. He's a legit leather expert with a hardcore following.
Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Tanner's famous for buying high-end designer bags and literally slicing them open on camera to show people what's hiding inside. He was the first to call out Chanel for faking real gold hardware and using cheap plastic-coated leather. He's gone after Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and of course, Hermes. And when Tanner got his hands on these bags, he showed that the leather quality isn't any better than what you'd find in a $100 knockoff. Even crazier, he broke down the true cost to make a Birkin bag, about $600 total. Not $14,000, not $38,000, just $600.
supply behind product. Bags are from Sitong Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bag.
And that's with good leather and real metal hardware.
Finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
Now just imagine Hermes watching all of this chaos unfold, seeing their dirty secrets go viral and realizing the game's over. Because the Chinese manufacturers weren't just cranking out fakes. They were making the real Hermes bags and then blowing the whistle. They exposed that 80% of the work happens in China, with only the final touch-ups done in France, all while Hermes cashes in on the fantasy of French luxury and hides the real story. So what does Hermes do next? Own up to the mess? Apologize? Of course not. They went straight to filing lawsuits. Hermes is now suing a bunch of Chinese factories for misusing intellectual property and defamation, basically crying, "How dare you tell people our bags aren't really made in France?" But here's the crazy part. Those same Chinese factories, they were under legit contracts with luxury brands. They were legally producing the bags. Now that they're speaking out, Hermes is acting brand new, pretending they've never even heard of these factories before. Like they just woke up yesterday and said, "Wait, who are these people?" Let's do the math real quick. Hermes pulled in $15.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That's millions of bags sold. And if it takes 2 whole days just to make one Birkin by hand, where's this secret army of French workers cranking them out? The math ain't mathin'. It's looking shady, straight up fraudulent. And Hermes isn't the only one playing dirty. Brands like Prada, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton are doing the exact same thing. They make 98% of the product in China, then throw on a zipper or a button in Italy just so they can legally slap a Made in Italy tag on it. It's all a slick marketing scam, a straight-up con. And people have been falling for it because of the prestige. Now that more people are waking up to the truth, resale prices are starting to slide. Folks are realizing they dropped $25,000 on a bag made in the same factory as a $400 dupe. And they are not happy about it. Tanner's been exposing bags that claim to be all premium calfskin, but are really just cheap PE-coated leather. It's got collectors sweating and buyers furious. Because if Hermes isn't really about quality or craftsmanship, then what exactly were people paying for? Just the brand name and a dream. The big lie that Western luxury brands have been pushing is that made in China means low quality. But that's old news. Today's Chinese factories are straight up killing it, making world-class leather goods with top-tier materials, crazy skilled workers, and the best machines in the game. A lot of luxury brands actually get their stuff made right alongside mid-range brands and knockoffs. The only real difference is the tag slapped on at the end. So when someone says a bag's made in China, it doesn't mean it's garbage. It could actually be better than the stuff handcrafted in France. There are tons of stories about people scoring factory extras without the logos. The exact same products as the $1,000 bags, just without the hype. One creator even said she snagged UGG boots straight from the same factory as the real deal. For just $5. The only thing missing? The label. Western media has brainwashed people into thinking China equals bad and Europe equals high class. But when you really dig into it, it's all just slick marketing. These brands are nothing more than private equity-owned machines, cranking out overpriced goods for folks who just don't know any better. Now that consumers are waking up, the whole industry is scrambling to keep the lie alive. Tanner Leatherstein isn't working for any brand, and he ain't trying to sell you anything either. He's just laying it all out, showing the receipts, breaking down materials, and exposing the truth. He even cut open his own $1,800 wallet collection to show exactly what you're paying for. And every single time, what he found was straight up disappointing. But let's keep it real for a second. These designer brands wouldn't even be running the game without celebrities flashing their bags like trophies. You think Cardi B, Kim K, or Kylie are buying Birkins and Chanel bags just for fun? Nah. Most of the time, they're either gifted the bags or straight up paid to rock them. It's called strategic placement. A brand hands Cardi B a $60,000 bag, she posted on Instagram, and boom. Every influencer and wannabe fashion queen is dying to get their hands on one. You think you're buying luxury? But what you're really buying is celebrity approval. And who could forget when Kylie Jenner flexed her Hermes closet on the gram? Total madness. People straight up lost their minds over that Hermes closet tour. But real talk, how many of those bags were even bought with their own money? And even if they were they really made in France? Or stitched up in some back room in Shenzhen? That's the real question. And it's not just celebs pulling these moves anymore. Influencers are deep in it too. TikTok and Instagram are flooded with unboxing videos showing off luxury hauls, but most of those bags are either PR freebies or part of brand deals. These creators are stacking cash promoting bags they didn't even buy, pushing the idea that you need a designer bag to be somebody. Meanwhile, the brands are laughing all the way to the bank, flipping $600 bags for $26,000 just because you saw it pop up on your FYP. But let's really get into this whole Birkin trap. Somewhere along the way, owning a Birkin turned into the ultimate status flex. But here's the twist. Hermes doesn't just let anybody walk in and snag one. Nope. You gotta build up a whole purchase history, dropping thousands on scarves, belts, and other stuff before they might offer you the privilege of buying a Birkin. That's not luxury. That's luxury cult behavior. And people are lining up ready to beg for a spot in the club. Let's not forget about the resale market. A few years back, people were flipping Birkin bags like they were luxury real estate. But now, after Tanner's expose and the factory leaks, prices are dropping. And fast. If the exclusivity is fake, the craftsmanship is questionable, and the bags are coming out of the same factories as the dupes. Why would anybody still drop full price? People are shook, resellers are sweating bullets, and investors are finally realizing that luxury bags might not be the goldmine they thought they were. I even heard about a client trying to sell her Birkin 30 Grizz Asphalt. I'm pretty sure that's the color, with palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's an amp, meaning it's from 2021. And guess what? Even with it being basically brand new, the market is shaky now. And here's where it gets even crazier. A lot of celebs and influencers are actually rocking dupes but still tagging the real brands. Why? Because they want to stay trendy without setting their wallets on fire. Some insiders even claim that stylists will grab fakes, tag the brand for clout, and get invites to Fashion Week. All off a straight-up illusion. Yup, the system is rewarding the illusion, not the authenticity. So the next time you see your favorite celeb flexing a luxury brand, don't just assume it's real, or that they even care. Branding is what's selling, not the actual bag. So who's really winning in all this? The brands. They're still stacking cash. The celebs. Still collecting checks. The influencers. Still getting free PR boxes and invites to every big event. You know who's not winning? You, the customer. You're the one dropping a whole month's rent on a bag with a fancy label slapped on. All based on hype built by celebs who didn't even pay for theirs. So you gotta ask yourself, are you buying real quality or just buying into the illusion? But here's where things take an even wilder turn. Hermes isn't just panicking behind closed doors anymore. They're going full-on legal warfare now. Yup, the brand is allegedly hitting a wave of Chinese manufacturers with lawsuits for daring to expose the truth. And these aren't just some random one-off lawsuits. Reports say Hermes is coming after multiple factories that had the nerve to speak out, throwing out claims like defamation and misuse of intellectual property. But let's keep it real. What they're really mad about is getting caught red-handed, and the timing couldn't be worse for them. Ever since the US cracked down with those heavy tariffs on Chinese imports, global brands have been forced to show their real production lines. And guess what? Hermes might get hit the hardest. Because when most of your so-called French craftsmanship is actually being stitched up in Shenzhen factories, you got yourself a huge problem. This whole expose cracked open a much bigger problem. Luxury brands today aren't just about quality. They're about perception and straight-up illusion. And when that illusion starts to fall apart, the whole empire starts crumbling. Hermes isn't just trying to save face right now. They're fighting for survival. Because if the truth about where these bags are really made keeps spreading, people aren't just going to question Hermes. They're gonna start side-eyeing Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, all of them. And the minute made in France loses its sparkle, that's when luxury loses all its meaning. Right now, Hermes is scrambling hard, pointing fingers, filing lawsuits, trying anything to shut up the factories that dared to expose them.
So Hermes has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere.
But honestly, it might be way too late. The genie's out the bottle, baby, and the internet never forgets. So now that you know the real deal, are you really still gonna drop $20,000 on a bag made in the same building that might have packed your Amazon order or a DHgate special? Think about it. Hit that like button if you're rethinking your favorite luxury brand right now. Subscribe for more deep dives into fashion drama.
Over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
Share this with someone who still thinks their Birkin is handmade in Paris, and drop a comment below.
First time shopping at Hermes, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermes next, and that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Almost finished bags from China factories, back to their own factories, and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
Do you think celebs should be held accountable for pushing overpriced products? Are luxury brands even worth it anymore if the magic's gone? Would you still rock an Hermes if the tag said made in China? The rabbit hole goes way deeper. And trust me, the next video is just as wild and messy. See you on the next one.